It is sad that it is taken a death of a prominent man, Charlie Kirk, for people to see that, wow, the left is deranged. Most of us on the right already knew this. So these people come out of the woodwork, which they've already been out. I probably shouldn't even say that they've came out of the woodwork, but they've posting all these videos glorifying his death, and they're happy, and a lot of them are young. I mean, just they've all been brainwashed in these colleges across the country, which I do think the federal government should um, withhold funding from them. I'm not saying nobody has a right to say what they want to say, how they want to say it, but there's consequences for speech. You can say what you want to say, but there's going to be consequences. Everybody's talking about it, and it's like it was almost it reminds me also of COVID, where all of a sudden all these reports come out. Well, you need to wash your hands. You need to have hand sanitizer. Like everybody was stupid, and it seems like what is everybody stupid now? We don't see what's going on. I've always saw what's going on, and a lot of people out there, conservatives, center, moderates, have known this. That these people are deranged, and they will go and stop at nothing to um, reach their agenda. And their agenda is to destroy America from within. And what better way is to rot our young children's minds with garbage? And now these young people are disillusioned because they get out of college because they got some arts associate's degree in some stupid theology of wokeness. I don't know what you want to call it, but you get the point. They get out of college, and guess what? They can't find a job, and they have all this debt. They're just angry and bitter. Um, it's a combination of all kinds of things that has taken decades to get us here, and here we are. And thank God people are waking up and smelling the coffee and going, well, this is inappropriate. Because nobody on the right now, I know Pam Bondi come out and said some stupid stuff, and she's the AG of America. That yeah, we're going to come after you for hate speech. Well, no, people have a right to say to speak hate speech. I mean, even I knew that. I think, look, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. She's caught up in the moment, but still, she should know better because she's a professional and she's speaking for the president. So just a little bit, she's caught up in the moment. She's upset. A lot of people are upset of Charlie's death, and I am so sorry. I don't even know. I don't even know. That just pray for his family, and that turning point will just keep boom, like his wife said when, and I'm sure you all had saw the video she made, which wow, it was very profound and surreal, you know, but it was powerful. It was powerful what she said, and people mocking her because she smiled and stuff, and it's like, are you insane? She had tears of joy and tears of sadness at the same time, and when she did smile, she was smiling because she said he's with Jesus. And Jesus said to him, which she read from the Bible, "My good and faithful servant, you have done well." I it's just the libs, they hate Christianity, they don't want it. Why you think they took it out of school a long time ago? If you remove morality and remove all of these things, this is decades later of aftermath and allowing the colleges to be a cesspool of liberal propaganda. A lot of the staffing and the teachers that get tenure, these teachers in these colleges, most of them are criminals. A lot of them are criminals. You could go look it up. They were with the Weather Underground. I mean, some of these people had committed murder. And guess what? The colleges just open up their arms to them. I remember, yeah, Rush Limbaugh. I mean, we do miss him greatly, but the thing is that this is done by design. These people are unstoppable unless we stop them. Don't stifle their speech. Let them say everything. Hear it. Let everybody see how truly evil and wicked you are. I don't understand it. But getting back to Rush, Rush says, well, if you do something and you're on the left, they just if it's a failure in conservative eyes, but the left will put you up on a pedestal and just throw money at you, put you on all these shows and all of this stuff because they lift failure, reward bad behavior, reward evil behavior. Look at the guy just the other day. All these people were outside praising that Linguini didn't get the what was it? The terrorist charge on him, and everybody's cheering. Like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? This guy shoots somebody in the back. They're upset about health care. Well, be pissed off at the Obama administration. Nobody was ever denied health care. You could go to the emergency room even now. I mean, just it just drives me crazy how our lives are just toiled with by politics that affect us all. But yeah, they need to keep saying what they're saying. Well, say what they want to say, rather, and let us all see it and see the evil that it truly, truly is. Now, look, I saw some stats on the Turning Point USA, and they've got like thousands and thousands of more chapters being started all across America in high schools. And I want to see some stats if there is happening in college. And I don't know if y'all watch Mark Dice, but he had suggested that they should name a building on the campuses across America Charlie Kirk Hall. I think it should be called like Charlie Kirk Debate Hall or Debate Center because that arena would be specifically for debates on all different sides, and it probably needs to be inside, obviously, and everybody needs to be checked for weapons because I guess everybody's going to have to just really be concerned about this. I know Megyn Kelly is going on some kind of tour. She hasn't, as far as I know, she hasn't had any cancellations of any of the guest speakers that she's acquired to do this endeavor that she's doing. Oh, I'm trying to get this to pause so I can cough. Well, here's a smidgen of what Charlie Cook, what Jimmy Kimmel is saying about the right side and how we're handling it.
Some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from.
So that was on Monday. Here it is Thursday. The the police giving their statements, and even a layman like me, watching all different sources of news, sees them come out, the FBI, you had the sheriff, you had the that bald-headed guy, I forgot what his name was, but they had them all come out and read the reports on what they have. What evidence have they collected? Now, I know they can't give everything because they don't want to jeopardize the case. None of us want that to happen. Hey, everybody gets a fair trial. They come out and said, we have DNA from him. We have pictures of him. We have text messages from him. We know that his parents said he was leaning left, that he had been becoming more and more extreme left ideology. He had stated he hated Charlie Kirk. It is mind-boggling that and then it's not just Kimmel. There's a slew, and I'm sure because everybody's covering this, I'm just throwing in my 2 cents worth. I've been dormant for a while, living my life, because sometimes I just need a break. You have to go and touch the real world because the internet can be a cesspool. I'm gonna tell you what. On a side note here, parents, whether your kid is 15, whatever time you people guys give their children phones, access to the internet. You need to be monitoring what they're watching, what they're listening to, what they're digesting in their little minds full of mush. Are they playing video games and they're got the headphones on with the mic where they can interact with adults? Because look, I've played games. And I would be on games, and I'd be like, "Whoa, the way these people are talking, no way my son's gonna get on here on this game." Because I'm hearing how these people are talking. You're actually literally communicating with people all over the country and all over the world in these games. Whether it's online gaming or whether you're on the PC, Xbox, whatever your choice is, because now it's all connected. But you can nip it in the bud. You could literally nip it in the bud. There was a video of a woman had a camera in her home, and her little girl, her face is blurred out, and her little girl's by the counter, like they had a little island there, and then there's the living room. Looked like a pretty nice home. The little girl, she's probably 6, 7 tops, anywhere from 5 to 6, 7 tops, right? But the little girl goes, "I'm a boy." And the mom, very calmly, she turns around and says, "Don't ever say that again. You're a girl. Jesus made you a girl. So don't ever say." And the little girl says, "Okay, mom, dad's a boy." And she said, "That's right, dad's a boy." And then the little girl goes, "Well, I'm sorry." Boom. That took care of that problem. So where did the little girl get this idea? She's just a tiny little girl. Why would she even think of that? Unless she was indoctrinated at school by these teachers. But here you have the TV giant Sinclair demands Jimmy Kimmel make a direct apology to Charlie Kirk and his family and donate to the Turning Point USA. I mean, if you don't do this, you're not coming back. So it's almost like, to me, you can tell me what you guys think, but to me, if he comes out and apologizes, it's not sincere. And plus, who's writing his shit? He was reading off a screen. You know he's got writers. And those writers are writing this crap for him. So he just walked up and said this off the cuff. Inquiring minds want to know, did somebody write this dialogue for him? Or did he say it off the cuff? Is he winging it live. Now, it's saying that, he's got a lot of employees that work at this show that now, they don't know if they're going to get their job back if things are good. But who wrote this? Or did he say it? Or did he say it off the cuff? Well, you got Sinclair Broadcasting said ABC's suspension of Jimmy Kimmel was insufficient, announcing it will yank Jimmy Kimmel Live from its stations until the host apologizes directly to the Charlie Kirk family and donates to his political activist group. Again, I think, is this, would it feel sincere, or is he just doing it because he wants his job back? I don't know. The Baltimore-based broadcast, whose group of some 40 ABC local affiliates in the nation's largest, said Kimmel's on-air remarks about Kirk's assassination were inappropriate and deeply insensitive. It was a lie. You're now, this is news post article, but look, it was a blatant lie because we already know. And look, all the other left-wing news outlets are still sticking to their guns by saying, well, we're not really sure what the motive is. And then one of the women on, I think it was on CNN the other night, said, well, do we care what the motive is? Because all this evidence was coming out, and then they just can't seem to admit it, and it is beyond bizarro world that they would continue to go down this creepy rabbit hole. Hey, look, I don't know. I don't even know why anybody's left anyway. But left or right, it should just boil down to common sense. Either there's facts or there's lies. I can't. Rush Limbaugh used to say, well, you can't really rationalize insanity because you're sane. So it's hard to figure out why, but I think it's because they want this. They're doing this by design. They've always done this. The left, CNN, PMSNBC, ABC, CBS, all of them. And then now you're going to yank Kimmel for what he's been doing all along. And y'all note it. You note it. It's like, okay, oh shit. He just said this. I think I'm just pretending like I'm in the room with these guys, and they're probably going, oh shit, Kimmel said this, man. Well, our ratings are already in the tank. We better do something about this, or things are just going to get really bad because people aren't just going to be tuning in. Because everybody's been slowly tuning out because he's not funny. I mean, aren't we tired of? I would get tired of somebody bashing Obama constantly or just berating somebody constantly, and all they did was call all of them continuing to call Trump a fascist, a Nazi. It's just stupid. It's stupid. He's not a fascist. He's not a Nazi. If you don't agree with his policies, fine. That's fine. Then say that. Well, I don't like this. But then again, I don't even know what you don't like. He's trying to get rid of crime. He's trying to make the rest of the world pay what they owe with tariffs instead of screwing us over. I mean, you might be able to find something you don't like. I don't know. But it doesn't make him a fascist. If he was a fascist or if he was a Nazi, Nazis were for Aryan blood, sure. I mean, there's so much concentration to these words that do not fit the left calling the right these things. It's stupid. It's idiocracy 101. Inappropriate and deeply offensive. I mean, really? Why didn't you just say it's inappropriate and it was lies? Because We'd already got from the FBI and all of them in Utah coming out in a press conference and giving us what they could give us. And they gave us quite a bit to get a glimpse and a picture. He was not a right-wing ideology. He was radicalized by the left. Now, they wanted to come out. I don't know if y'all watched Destiny on Paris Morgan. He just gets on my nerves because he just talks like he's on something. It's like, bro, you're killing me. But he tried to say, well, he was raised in a Mormon conservative home and blah, 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 blah. And then, and they shoot guns and they do this. And the other guy on the panel goes, well, you just described yourself. And then he's like, well, God, he's only 22 years old. It's like, well, how long does it take to get radicalized? Is there a time on how long does it take? It probably doesn't take too long from the time he's 18 to 22. That he's in these chat rooms on Discord. I don't know what games he was playing. And he went to college for a minute. Just a couple of years. That was plenty of time for somebody between 18 and 22 to get radicalized. Because young people are so influential. They'll grasp on anything. And apparently he has pretty high IQ. So Destiny is a goofball. I don't know how people can stand listening to him. The only thing he's the voice of that side. If your teenagers are listening to him, you need to put a stop to it. You need to get straight with them. And again, I'm going to emphasize, parents out there, you need to be following up on what your kids are digesting. Because the teenage years up into the 20s are crucial. Because they can be influenced greatly. Greatly. My phone just won't stop ringing, huh? The company vowed not to return Kimmel's show until the formal discussions are held with ABC regarding the network's communicative and professionalism and accountability. It's just more of bait and switch. Let's just say stuff like this. I mean, because people are tuning out. He's already lost a lot of viewers. Look, nobody's watching regular TV anymore. So Kimmel could just go away. I mean, he could go get him a YouTube channel, do a podcast, and maybe he can hire some writers because maybe he can't do things on his own. But the company has vowed not to return Kimmel's show. But again, they just said in the other paragraph, until he apologizes, and they want him to give them some money. The money's going to fix everything, and again, I'm going to reiterate, I don't think that it would be sincere. Because he should have just stopped when he was reading it. I'm going to go on a limb here. I think somebody wrote this for him. And he just went ahead and read it and said it. He read it and said it. That's what he did. We believe broadcasters have a responsibility. It's when to educate and evaluate respectfulness, constructive dialogue in our community, Sinclair Vice Chairman Jason Smith said in a statement. Since when? We all know that ABC is left. They're far left. It's no big secret. It is no big secret. And that now you want respectful Evaluate respectful, constructive dialogue in the communities? Okay. Smith praised Brandon Carr, the chairman of the Federal Communications, who told conservative podcasters that the agency would take action against Disney in light of Kimmel's remarks about Kirk. Disney. I think you should just have nothing to do with Disney. Disney has been squeezing in propaganda to our children blatantly, putting in gay crap in their movies designated to children. And it just drives me nuts. You shouldn't be going on Disney cruise. Don't even go to Disney. Just because I tell you what, if you hit them in the pocket, they're going to stop it. Because they had, I know y'all seen the pictures a year or so ago of men dressed up as a Disney princess, and they got a mustache and a beard, and Disney is allowing them to work, to be out there on the pavement in Disney World. I just couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. This insight highlights the critical need for the FCC to take immediate regulatory action to address control held over local broadcasters by the big national networks, Smith said. And look, I know a lot of people on there going to laugh are going to be screaming, "Oh, you're free speech." No, no, I don't think that's the case at all. I think the problem is that there's got to be consequences for free speech. You're saying offensive things over a tragedy that everyone's just blown away, shocked. I don't even know what words to describe um, this incident. And what was that teacher? Was she in Canada or here that played to her fifth graders on repeat the Charlie Kirk getting killed? It's beyond comprehension. Beyond comprehension. ABC announces Wednesday that the production of his show, the late night program, has been suspended indefinitely after he mocked what he called the mega gang. The mega gang in his Monday monologue, accusing conservatives of exploiting Kurt's killing for political gain. That is disgusting and despicable. One of his writers wrote that. Unless he's part of the writing team, he's like, "Oh yeah, let's say that. Let's say that." So I guess his team, his crew, I guess they feel like, "Oh, our whole audience is nothing but leftist, crazy, lunatic liberals, so they can say this." I mean, I don't watch his show. I have a long time ago, but I stopped watching all the late night crap because it was all, they just got political. It did something to comedy, and I don't like it. I mean, I just turned away, and that maybe I'm not alone in this because their ratings were so bad. I mean, you alienate uh, a majority of who could be watching you if you would just stayed funny. You needed to stay neutral. I mean, a lot of people either go play video games or watch a movie or maybe tune into to a late show comedy, which is supposed to be comedy to escape politics, the hard day at work, and you just want to be entertained and have some laughs. But then all of a sudden you're getting propaganda. It's ridiculous. And I do think this is why they're not doing well at all. Prosecutors later identified the suspect shooter as a 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, saying he may have been personally and responsible political. He had personal and responsible political motives. Okay, well, his motives were Charlie as hate speech, and he's gay. He's with some guy who claims he wants to dress up like a woman. Sinclair, which operates 178 television stations in 81 markets, said its ABC's affiliates will air a special in remembrance of Kirk during Kimmel's Friday time slot. So I guess that'll be tomorrow that they'll do this. Um, I don't know, guys. The program will also be carried across all Sinclair-owned stations nationwide and offered to other ABC affiliates. Let's see if they all pick up on it and do it. But again, who's watching ABC? I even think young people aren't even, they're on their phones or their tablets or their laptops. They're my son's school last year and this year, guys, has blocked YouTube. Now, 2 years ago, I had called the school. I forgot what I called. I needed to talk to the principal about, so I had a question about something. But anyway, I brought up the YouTube. I said, I don't know why y'all issuing my son and all the other children iPads, laptops, and they have access to full-blown internet. Full-blown. No holds bar. What are you doing? Now, I was calm. I just said, well, I had some concerns that my son has access to YouTube, and he says that some of his assignments he has to go to a certain YouTube video for the class. And I said, well, y'all should just have your own app or uh, some other application for the school that gives them access to certain videos that are educational, because YouTube does has educational stuff. But it bothered me that he could just watch anything on YouTube. So the following year, he come home that year. I guess it was last year. He goes, "Oh, we can't get on YouTube anymore." I was like, "Wow, that's awesome!" And then this year, they issued the high school kids laptop computers, the high school kids, and he still does not have access to YouTube. And there's a lot of sites that he cannot even go to. So that's the schools. Also, um, the younger kids in elementary at his school are not. They can't even have a device, which is great. Which is great, and I applaud that. The broadcast vowed not to return Kimmel's show until formal discussions are held at the ABC regarding the network's community and professional accountability. Sinclair also called on Kimmel to make a meaningful personal donation to Kirk's family and his group, the Turning Point USA. Carr, a Trump appointee, had earlier blasted Kimmel's remarks and urged affiliates to prompt his program. Change needs to happen on Kimmel, Carr told conservative podcast Benny Johnson on Wednesday, hours before an ABC pulled the plug on the comedian's show. Which they didn't even need anybody to complain. They should have just said, oh, it should have been just red flagged immediately. But no, they would have not pulled him if nobody said anything. Disney needs to see some change here. But the individual licensed stations that are taking their content, it's time for them to step up and say, this, is garbage. Isn't something that we think serves the needs of our community, Carl told the Benny Johnson show on Wednesday. The pressure campaign quickly gained steam. Nestar Media Group, another major broadcasting which owns dozens of ABC affiliates nationwide, also dropped Kimmel's program. Nestar, the largest local TV operator in the country, with 265 stations across 44 states, last month announced it reached agreement to acquire Tenga, I guess that's how you pronounce it, for $6.2 billion in cash. This is interesting. The merge requires approval from CAR's FCC and the Trump administration, with filings expected by the end of the month. If approved, the merge is expected to be completed by the middle of next year. Disney is also in the process of seeking approval from the Trump administration for its recent multi-billion-dollar agreement with the National Football League over its media properties. ESPN, the Disney-owned sports cable empire, intends to acquire the NFL Network, the NFL Red Zone, and the NFL Fantasy, folding them into its media portfolio in a deal valued by analysts between $2 billion and $3 billion. In exchange, the NFL would own 10% equity stake in the Bristol Con-based worldwide leader in sports. The conventional wisdom is that Disney CEO Robert Iger believed it was the company's interest to sacrifice Kimmel in order to avoid picking a fight with the Trump administration before antitrust officials sign off on the ESPN NFL deal. And there it is. There it is. We better do this because we don't want to piss off the Trump administration, because everybody knows that guy that killed Charlie Kirk is a left-wing radical nut who was indoctrinated by the lunatic left. But Disney, in all of his shows, all of these shows that's been going on for a few years. I mean, look what's happened to Marvel, DC, all of them is garbage. Garbage. Just garbage with woke propaganda all over it. Forcing this stuff down our throats. And, but now, oh my God, we have a $3 billion deal at stake here. So we better just kiss some ass right now. It's mind-boggling. I don't even think this is sincere. I don't even think they give a crap what Kimmel said. They don't. They don't. So now we want Kimmel to fall on the sword, bend the knee. And again, I don't think it's going to be sincere. He's just going to do it. That's if he chooses to do it, to get his job back and employ his team so they can carry on for God knows how long, because nobody's watching his show. But there it is. Disney. They want this deal. So we got to do this. We got to scratch some backs. We got to, let's pretend for a minute, and then when all this blows over, we're just going to go back to business as usual. That's my take. That is my take on that. President Trump, we're going to try to wrap this up. It's getting a little long. President Trump celebrated Kimmel's suspension on social media, writing, "Great news for America," derailing Kimmel's ratings and talent. The suspension blindsided Kimmel's Los Angeles staff, really. Crew members are booked guests who told of the decision hours before taping, according to multiple reports. Protesters and fans gathered outside the El Capitan Theater in Hollywood on Wednesday. Some call the move censorship and others praising it as accountability. Let me see if I can get this picture in for you. Oh, yeah, it looks like a whole lot of people are upset about this. Look at this. That's a big protest right there. It's like the big protest march in London, and there was end up millions of people there. But what did the left-wing media? Oh, thousands showed up. Maybe 100,000? No, it was massive. It was massive. Kimmel, 57, was seen leaving the studio late Tuesday but declined to comment. Sources told the Post he is absolutely effing livid and exploring options to break from ABC. Okay. He's livid for being a dumbass. Again, this is not censorship. This is accountability. Look, guys, you guys my age, when we were young watching TV, I mean, it's nothing like it is now. They actually did censor themselves. They censored it. It was supposed to be wholesome. Not anymore. Not anymore. Hollywood unions and free speech advocates warn the move could have chilling consequences, SAG-AFTRA said in a statement. The episode sets a dangerous precedent when government officials pressure broadcasters to silence voices they disagree with. I don't even think they were pressured. I could be wrong. I think they just went, oh shit. I mean, I'm assuming I probably need to do a little more research. I'm assuming that they got inundated with what? I mean, because the media, the internet is blown up with more right-wing people posting and showing what the left has been posting on TikTok or Twitch, what they've been posting, glorifying and praising somebody being killed. So it has set this precedent across the United States. It's like, whoa, we see how evil you are. And Disney and them recognizes, oh shit, we just poked a bear. Now, Disney, or can Disney or these other entities control the mouths of other people? In a way, yes. Because the propaganda they've been spewing, all the either left-wing media news, Disney, I think Disney's a left-wing radical organization that just pretends that they're going to try to be wholesome with the family. And they've proven it by slipping in crap in their movies. By showing there could be two dads and this kind of crap. And then even I was so mad about Doctor Strange, the second Doctor Strange movie, where you had this woman, this girl who had these abilities, and then all of a sudden at the end of the movie, it's showing she had two moms and she's from a different universe. It was stupid. I was like, what is this shit? It's unbelievable. But I don't think it's any kind of there's consequences for free speech, okay? Nobody's saying, and these groups, these union groups get on my nerves. Like, you can't see the logic in this? Yeah, I can stand up in a theater and yell fire if there's a fire. But if I cause a stampede and there's not a fire, I'm going to be arrested. So there's consequences. What? Did I not have free speech to stand up and say that? Yeah, but you're going to get arrested for it. That's as simple as that. The Writers Guild of America called the suspension a blanket attack on creative freedom. No, it didn't. No. Is Kimmel getting arrested for what he said? No. Go ahead. Say what you guys want to say. The marketplace will dictate. And that's how it should be. The marketplace is going to dictate whether we could just shun you and you need to go away. Or you can restrain yourself. Lefties can't. They just can't. Senate Majority Leader Chuck U. Schumer, Rush Limbaugh used to call him, Chuck U. Schumer, called ABC's move outrageous telling reporters you don't suspend a comedian because politicians don't like his jokes. Well, I don't think nobody told these affiliates, this Sinclair group, to do this. They can do what they want. They just chose, well, we better remove him because it's going to affect our bottom line. It's like the teachers, the nurses who came out and said that they didn't care he died, that they were glad he died, he deserved to die. Now, be for real, people. Would you want if you went to the hospital and the nurse that's ministering you your drugs or whatever she's doing for you realizes you're a Christian conservative? Do you want her or the doctor being the same as her, she's a left-wing ideologue, and that it posted a video saying she praised the death of Charlie Kirk? Would you want them operating on you or taking care of you? Would you want this teacher to be teaching your children who have this ideology because it's evil? And I would think the majority of Americans say hell to the no. Hell to the no. So, yeah, you teachers out there, you doctors, you nurses, all these people in these type of professions, yeah, you need to be fired. And there is a law. There's a law to the effect that if you say these things, that there can be consequences that your employer can let you go because what you say can reflect on their business. So you go ahead. You have freedom of speech, but there's going to be consequences. And because they don't teach these young people nothing. But some of these people who were doing this were adults saying these things and they got fired. And so here Jimmy Kimmel comes out and says insensitive, lies, which was insensitive, and it was a lie. That the right is propagating that he's not one of ours. I wouldn't care in a way. Because I think we need to get back to the act of the crime itself. So, first and foremost, you kill somebody or somebody kills somebody. They should be arrested. The evidence is pointing to them. They've got DNA, they've got video footage, whatever, whoever. This is just a fictional example. So they have this evidence. They got the guy. They're gonna take him to jail because he's being booked for murder. Now, now let's get into the motive. Because they got to have motive when the prosecutor's standing up going, well, this is why he did it. This is because ABCD, this is what he did, and this is why he did it. But first and foremost, you need to be charged and arrested for a crime that you're being accused of. Then we can start following up on all these other things. ABC, owned by Disney, has not said if Kimmel Live will return or be canceled. The Post has sought comment from ABC and Disney and Kimmel. Nobody's saying nothing. Oh, they already said it. We read it in this article that he can come back when he apologizes, which I don't even think that's enough. I really don't. I really don't. And there's Kirk and his beautiful wife and his children. This has impacted the world. This has impacted the world. Um, I kind of thought I guess I had a feeling that I had to. I saw the clip and then I had to leave. I had to go pick up my son from school. By the time I got knowledge of what was happening, I was looking at something else. I didn't even know what was going on until like 2 hours later, I guess, when it happened that day. Hmm. And I saw the video and I was like, oh my God. And then I said to a friend, I was like, is he dead yet? I mean, because I just thought it would be a miracle if he survived or if it just grazed him. But it was, it was traumatic. It was terrible. Um, my son tells me, yeah, some of the kids were, they had been talking about it that day. He actually watched it. I was a little upset about it. He doesn't have a phone, but all the other kids at school have phones and they were looking at it. They watched it. And I told him, you shouldn't be looking at that. I mean, he's 15. But it was disturbing. It was disturbing. Prayers to the family. I always wanted to cover this. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is it a reach? Is it what the Hollywood Union says? This is an infringement on free speech. Do you think speech has consequences? Or no? Or let people make up their own minds? But again, I mean, it should be common sense. And it should dictate to commerce as well. You could just tune out to these people, which I have over the years. I've stopped watching a lot of things that are like, oh my God, I can't watch this. I just can't look at it. But let me know what you think. God bless Charlie Kirk, his wife, his children. God bless America. I want to thank all the other countries that recognized the greatness of Charlie Kirk. God bless you and keep up the good fight. Having turning points coming up all over the world because this is a global thing, people. This woke crap and the leftist ideology is just not here in America. It's happening globally. So is the down happening. So is the birth rates. I just watched Trigonometry last night. I recommend you go watch his latest video where they interview a gentleman who travels the world and did this study on fertility of the world. And we're on the same plateau. People not having children or waiting until in their later 30s. The birth rates are down, and we're just going to have an aging population. He talked. The last of it was he said that India is going to be in big, big trouble because of this. They're just not having children, and it's going to be a population of old people and who are going to take care of them. I recommend you watch him. You watch Trigonometry. It was really good, really, really good. Well, anyway, God bless you. God bless America, and thank you for joining me.